Hi everybody and welcome. I'm Carl Fisher of CamaPlan. I'm honored to have Elizabeth Cummings with us today as she'll provide answers to some of the more complex, frequently asked questions concerning IRAs. Beth, welcome today. Can you just go over a little bit on why people may need an EIN nowadays for their IRAs?
Mm-hmm. I sure will. In fact, this is kind of my big hot button issue because I think a lot of people don't realize that they need one. And of course, we've assisted hundreds of people from CAMA to get them, and they're coming in even from outside that because I guess they're hearing that certain people are hearing that they have this need and they don't even understand why. So they're coming to us and asking. And there's several reasons. Let me say this as a precursor. I have actually had to get on the phone with the IRS. Typically, you would fill out a Form SS4 to obtain an EIN number for your IRA. You must be very careful how that SS4 is filled out because I said this is a very complex area, and the typical agent at 1-800-IRS isn't going to be ready for what's coming. So you have to be very clear what is on the SS4. So again, finding a professional that knows how to document that is the first appropriate matter. Now, I've called in several times because when the application will not go through for whatever reason, if there's a complication with the Social Security number or the person's name is too long or something like that, you have to call the IRS. And excuse me, when I do that, 9 times out of 10, the agent on the other end will tell me I do not need an EIN number. However, what they don't know is that my self-directed IRA has invested in an LLC, and that LLC has to file its own tax return, and that tax return most likely will throw off a K-1 to the investor, one being my SDIRA. Now, that K-1 has to have a tax identification number on it. So right there is case number 1. Case number 2 would be we are located, as you know, in the Philadelphia area, and the city of Philadelphia would like a business income and receipts tax return as well as a net profits tax return filed for SDIRAs that are investing, let's say, in real estate in the city of Philadelphia. So there are tax filings required. Even though you're inside a tax-deferred vehicle, Philadelphia still has a tax filing requirement, which in turn requires a tax identification number.
Yeah, we see other cities following that same trend. You know, they all need more income, so they're filing taxes. Even some of the utility companies are asking for TINs for tax identification numbers to turn on utilities.
That's correct. That is correct. Yep. I know if you're lending money out of your SDIRA and there's interest being repaid, there are interest 1099s that have to go back and forth between the payer and the receiver. There's several. There was one other hot item. Oh, you know what? In regards to what you said, the city of Reading has been hot. Pottsville, these little small localities are really reaching out for their piece of the pie, and so we want to be ready for these numbers. Plus the fact, even if you're just purchasing real estate, if you're making a purchase, you have to have an identifying number, and it would behoove you to not put your Social Security number on every piece of paper that has to do with that transaction. So getting an EIN would be the more prudent way to handle that.
Yeah, and a lot of EIN and TIN are the same.
That's correct.
Hey, Beth, thanks a lot. As always, this information is for educational purposes only. Each individual's circumstances can be unique. This webinar should not be considered as rendering tax, legal, accounting, or investment or other professional advice. If tax or legal, accounting, investment, or other similar expert assistance is required, the service of a competent professional should be sought.
Great. Thank you so much, Carl.